Hi, this is Fee. Welcome to the Springs Living Virtual Town Hall. This week we have Sam Currie, our Director of Culinary Services, joining us. He'll walk us through what we've done to help keep you well fed and socialize during meals, all within our COVID-19 guidelines. Sam has been with the Springs Living for 6 years and oversees the culinary teams at each of our communities. Sam?
Thank you, Fee. Great to be here.
So, as Oregon and Montana have significant success in flattening the curve and restaurants have begun to reopen, what does reopening our dining rooms look like? And how are we keeping people safe while we're doing that?
That's a great question. Boy, there are a lot of moving parts to this one. We know that food is such an emotional part of our communities. It's the fabric of everything that goes on every day, everybody's ability to gather. So it's really important to us to get those activities restarted, but at the same time protect everyone. So we're excited to get them rolling again, but every community is different. We're not a cookie cutter. They all have different size dining rooms, different layouts. Kitchens are located in different places. So what we've done is we've taken the guidance and guidelines from the CDC and from our local health authorities and applied those in every setting. So first, it's table placement, making sure that tables are at least 6 feet apart, and that allows for that proper social distancing. Then at each table, we need to make sure that the residents are also far enough apart, unless, of course, they're couples, and then they can sit together. But we're going to have situations where we're going to have residents that might want to share a table, but they still have to maintain that social distancing. And we'll work with everybody on that just to make sure that we have that 6 feet of social distancing. And of course, we've gone to this food delivery system during this time, and now we're going to kind of transition back to our restaurant style dining, and that's going to create a little bit of a shift for us as well. I think we're going to have residents that will honestly want to continue to stay in their rooms, and that's fine. We'll continue to deliver to those residents. We want to make sure that they're healthy and happy, but then within the dining rooms, not only the residents, but our staff, how do they react to this, and what do we do to protect them? So again, those social distancing protocols, that distance of workspaces so that we don't have people all gathered in one small workplace working together, are going to be really, really critical. And of course, the other thing that's foundational to what we do and how we do it is our art of delicious food values and kitchen principles. And we've not deviated from those at all during these difficult times, and we will continue to do our best to deliver on all of those values and principles as we move forward. We want to make sure that residents have access to fresh, healthy, seasonal food that tastes good, is nourishing, and it's not only nourishing for their bodies, it's nourishing for their souls.
Thanks, Sam. Here's your next question. We know that the social value of dining together won't change. So how will you see food and food service evolving post-COVID-19? What innovations have come out of this experience, and how can we adapt?
Yeah, it's really interesting. There's a lot of research and study already being done by leading hotel and restaurant schools around the country, Cornell University, NYU, as well as some large architectural food service design firms, to kind of look at how do we move this forward and allow people to gather, yet maintain their safety. Again, safety is paramount. So I think what we're going to see is we're going to see more designs with natural barriers. We're going to see higher backs on booths. We're going to see different seating arrangements. We're going to see staggered seating times, not only in the restaurant industry as a whole, but definitely in our communities, because you can't pack everybody into the same space that you used to be able to pack them into. So yeah, there's going to be some really innovative things that come out. We see some of the barriers that are created that I think will be here to stay. will be here to stay for the long term in terms of separation at places like bars or where there's a lot of human-to-human contact and it's difficult to maintain that social distancing. We'll see some of those types of things stay, but they'll be incorporated into the design elements so that they don't look like a barrier. They're actually part of the design. And I think the other things that we'll start to see more of is technology. We're going to see more electronic tickets. You're not going to be handing somebody a receipt or a pen back and forth. Everything's going to be done electronically and sent via email and that kind of thing. Again, everything trying to minimize that hand-to-hand contact. But as with all things, there's going to be some great innovations and great solutions that come out of this, and we're going to be at the forefront of that. What can we do to allow people to continue to gather and innovate successfully to provide a great social, communal experience around food?
Sam, I know when COVID-19 hit, you had to make a lot of changes and make a lot of adjustments. Can you tell us about that and some of the experiences that you've had?
Yeah, boy, I tell you, going back to, kind of when this all started, I think the thing that everybody's very aware of is what happened to the food supply chain. Not only the food supply chain, but the supply chain in general. And there were a lot of things that kind of kicked in there. There was a shift away from restaurants and more to getting food to grocery stores. And then how that impacted our world, because we're kind of part of that restaurant world, and so our suppliers and distributors had to kind of change on the fly. I think one of the things that's really allowed us to be successful and overcome those obstacles is the really strong relationships and partnerships that we have with our suppliers and vendors. We have direct relationships with every vendor that we deal with. It's not just a transactional thing, it's very relational. I was talking to all of them daily for almost a month as we work through these things. We also deal directly with a lot of growers and producers, which is a real advantage during a time like this. That ability to connect with the ranchers or the pork producers or whoever that might be. There's a lot more likelihood that we're going to have great outcomes when there's a direct relationship with those folks. I think the other things that started happening were obviously the protocols around mask wearing, social distancing, and how did that impact the workplace? We have kitchens that are designed a certain way and people are kind of, they're close together. They're working just a couple feet apart. So we really had to rethink how we went about that. And I really give a lot of credit to our teams in the field, their ability to adjust to things on the fly and know their community the best in their physical settings. They just were champions and heroes throughout this whole thing. But we never lost sight of the safety and health of those people. And it starts with, how does the food come in the back door? How do we receive it and accept it? All those little details that we needed to think through so that we protected every step of the way so that the food could get to your rooms on a plate successfully, hopefully hot, and tasting good.
Thanks, Sam. And thanks for joining me today. You and your team deserve a Michelin star, or at least a Toyo star for us in the Northwest, for outstanding work that you've done in an effort to keep people well-fed, physically strong, and socially engaged. Thank you for watching another episode of our virtual town hall, and be well.